So here's the face cam. Yeah, so let's begin the video. Today our topic is C4 cycle. I have made a video on why plants follow C4 cycle and one video on Kelvin cycle and light reaction. If you haven't watched those videos first, then please watch those videos before seeing this video. Otherwise it would be very difficult for you to understand this video. So let us begin the video. So basically the first step in C4 cycle, why we are saying it C4 or C3, because it involves around a 4 carbon molecule. Basically that's why it is called C4 cycle. So in C3 cycle, I have told in that video that RUBP or rubylin biphosphate, actually it is rubylose biphosphate, but I like to say rubylin biphosphate. So rubylose bisphosphate or biphosphate, it is same thing. So rubylin biphosphate reacts with carbon dioxide to form PGA or phosphoglycerate acid. I have told in that video about PGA. And it occurs, one more thing I have told in that video. If you have seen the video, you will find one substance written ribisco. What is ribisco? It is a very abundant protein found in plants, and it is the protein that acts as a catalyst. And without this protein, RUBP can't react with carbon dioxide to produce PGA, which will continue Kelvin cycle and form glucose in the end. But there is a limitation in RUBP. The biggest limitation in RUBP is that it can react with oxygen, and that oxygen, when it reacts with oxygen, it also somehow leads to production of glucose, but it takes a lot of time and energy to save that time and to save energy, the C4 cycle is followed by plants. So what happens normally in C3 plants, there are cells known as mesophyll cells. These are the cells in which photosynthesis takes place, and chlorophyll is inside these mesophyll cells. Normally rubisco is present in chlorophyll, and rubisco is present in mesophyll cells, not in normal C3 plants. And under that C3 mesophyll cells, there is another cell layer which is called bundle sheath cells. In C3 plants, these bundle sheath cells are normally empty or have very less rubisco in comparison. But when there is a C4 plant like this is a C4 plant, what happens in this? The rubisco fully travels to bundle sheath cells. Now when it travels to bundle sheath cells, the bundle sheath cells are covered by all the sides with different substances, like they are covered, and they don't allow oxygen supply inside the rubisco cells. Means inside this bundle sheath cells there is no oxygen supply, or no air can travel through it. But if there is no oxygen supply, similarly there is no carbon dioxide supply also. So how then energy is produced? That full procedure is called Kelvin cycle, C4 cycle. Kelvin, it is type of Kelvin cycle basically, but it is called C4 cycle. So what happens basically? Carbon dioxide and oxygen are taken by stomata. They are taken together by stomata, because stomata don't have the power to distinguish carbon dioxide out of oxygen. So they are taken by stomata and they go inside the mesophyll cells. There is a substance known as PEP, which is a 3 carbon molecule. If you want to know full form, it is phosphoenol pyruvate. So this is the spelling of this. I'm not sure about the spellings. You can Google it and check it once. So phosphoenol pyruvate, PEP, and then this carbon dioxide reacts with PEP. The oxygen can't react with PEP like with RUBP. It can react, but it can't react with PEP. So carbon dioxide reacts with PEP to form OAA, or oxaloacetic acid. This acid is a 4 carbon molecule, and that's why we say the cycle C4 cycle. So basically it occurs due to oxaloacetate. Then this oxaloacetate is converted into malate. Malate is a special kind of protein that carries carbon along with it. So it is a protein that carries carbon or carbon dioxide along with it. So it is a carbon carrying protein. So from the mesophyll cells, this malate, which is a carbon carrying protein, carries that carbon to the bundle sheath cells. There this malate goes to bundle sheath cells. Later on in bundle sheath cells, it gets converted into pyruvate, which is 3 carbon molecule, and then it is converted and carbon dioxide is released. So pyruvate is formed and then carbon dioxide is released. from here, and then this carbon dioxide goes to rubisco, where rubisco is present. As I've told you, in C4 plants, rubisco is not present in this region or the mesophyll part. It is present in this region, or we can say bundle sheath cells. So rubisco, it goes to rubisco where rubisco is present, and then it reacts with RUBP or rubylin biphosphate, or you can say rubulose bisphosphate in actual. So rubylin biphosphate, I like to say it. So rubylin biphosphate, it reacts with rubylin biphosphate to carry on the process of Calvin cycle. Now one important thing to note, that this cycle, let me write it once, this one cycle which we say normally, this cycle, this is called C3 cycle, and this cycle that this had occurred here, this is called C4 cycle. Then what's the important thing to note, you might ask me? So that important thing to note is that when RUBP reacts with CO2, it will continue C3 cycle again from beginning. So basically when C4 cycle, the part of C4 cycle, this part occurs in the C3 cycle, this part occurs when this one portion occurs, then the C3 cycle is again regulated from beginning. Means this is only a preliminary stage or the beginning stage that occurs before occurrence of C3 cycle, because oxygen, we don't want oxygen to react with RUBP. So this cycle takes place in order to prevent oxygen reacting with RUBP. So otherwise what would happen? Otherwise, if you want to know otherwise what would happen, that process is called photorespiration. So when oxygen reacts with RUBP, it forms glucose. It also forms glucose, but there is a limitation in the process. As I have told you, what happens in the process, when it will form glucose, a lot of energy in the form of ATP is utilized in the process, and this is a sure wastage of energy. So instead of this wastage, if this cycle is preferred, this will take less energy in comparison to that energy that will be taken there. It will also take some energy because you're doing additional steps, so you will require some energy, but it will take less energy in comparison to that. So many plants follow C4 cycle, and it is very useful for them. Now where is C4 cycle followed? The C3 cycle is followed in most of the plants, but C4 cycle is followed in those areas where oxygen content is more than carbon dioxide content. Normally we say that oxygen content means oxygen percentage in air is 21% and 0.0 carbon dioxide 0.8% or something like this. But in actual, in different places it varies, and in some places CO2 content is very less. In those places this cycle is followed. So thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, then click on the like button and subscribe my channel. Click on the bell icon to get the notifications. Other than that, if there is an improvement I can make, then please write in the comment section about it. Thank you for watching the video once again.